and gentlemen, one of the hardest bands in the world. They're gonna get you hard. Get you real hard. The Males.
Hi everyone, Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Nails record, You Will Never Be One of Us. One of the most savage bands in the world, they're back for a third full-length record. Their debut album, which dropped like 6 years ago at this point, Untitled Death, one of the most adrenaline-pumping, head-smashing albums ever recorded. Kurt Ballou of Converge on production on this one. Sounds amazing. Now, their sophomore record that dropped 3 years ago at this point, just 4 minutes longer at 18 minutes. And it seemed like Nails was kind of conscious of their music and the way it was being received at this point and what people were enjoying about their music. And since their music was such an aggressive challenge to the listener, it seems like they wanted to up the ante a little bit, raise the bar on this record and say, okay, you can withstand Unsilent Death. Let's give you this. Because on here, they went even more relentless and merciless, louder, faster, more insane. The vocals were just throat-shredding, to the point really where it made me reel back a little bit. Like this was just a little too dense and too chaotic. Still liked it though, but just didn't stick with me as much as Unsilent Death did because it was just so difficult to commit a lot of this record to memory because so much of it went by in an aggressive blur. So with this next album over here, I guess I was anticipating and hoping for a few things. Of course I always want to see Nails up the intensity and up the noise and up the volume factor of their music, but also, I love it when their music stays visceral and is actually memorable to a degree. And I think on You Will Never Be One of Us, they find that balance. Still though, this record is not a walk in the park. It is unwelcoming, as usual, as we would expect from Nails. Even on the cover itself, we have a bunch of these weird monk-looking figures with tentacles flying out of their mouths, all simultaneously, yelling at or hissing at or grabbing at this black devilish figure just hanging in the middle like From just the cover art, we can see a continuation of the themes that have worked themselves out in Nails' music up until this point. Societal rejection, lone wolf status, everything I've loved about the band so far, and now it's being delivered to us in this 22-minute long album with an 8-minute monster finisher at the very end. The rest of the track list, though, is business as usual. You have these 40 to 90-second hardcore metal blitzkriegs. The production is still crushing. The buzzsaw guitars, super heavy. Everything, the guitars, the bass, the drums, all compressed into this dense brick of music. The bass is pretty distorted, the drums are like gunshots going off, the blast beats are intense, the vocals are these throaty, savage roars. The songs don't really feel like these isolated moments as much as they just weave together into this tapestry of death and suffering. The title track kicks things off with these thunderous riffs and intense speed, which eventually breaks down into these very mosh-friendly riffs. Even though these tracks, again, they're like 40 seconds long, a minute and change, Nails makes sure to pack some interesting transitions into these tracks. It's not like you're hearing the same thing for 40 seconds. The rage on this LP is at maximum potency. And even though the band is keeping up this level of extremity, they're able to make their songs, in my opinion, catchy once again. I love the tension breaks that guide us into some really primal breakdowns on songs like Life is a Death Sentence, as well as Into Quietus. The song Parasite features this slowdown into a galloping riff with some lead guitars over it. It sounds like something that is sped up and pulled straight from the Pantera playbook. And I really enjoyed hearing Pantera's influence on their first record. It's cool that it's come back here. The song Savage Intolerance features some pretty cool, dissonant, sour lead guitars that sound like this descent into madness over the crazy distorted riffs that are just throttling away in the background. And the 3-minute violence Silence Is Forever in the middle of the record, the second longest track on the entire album, has these kind of noisy psychedelic guitar solos and sounds in the middle of the track that I liked a lot. And then we come to the 8-minute closer, They Come Crawling Back, which to my knowledge is Nail's longest song so far and just the longest track on the record at the very end. And Nails shows that, once again, they can go the distance on a song if they want to. It doesn't necessarily need to be this 40-second cut. The introduction of the track has these very dark, brooding minor chords that sound like something out of a black metal song. The track moves through these multiple phases of blast beats and slowed down riffs. It's all pretty intense. Definitely some sludge metal vibes at a couple points on this track. The song is surprisingly dynamic. However, I was a little underwhelmed by the ending here, which just ended with a simple fade out as the band starts delivering some of the heaviest and most visceral riffs on the entire cut. And not only was I disappointed that the song didn't have a solid ending to it, but fading out just seems like the most un-Nails way to end a record. Not really the kind of music or band that should be faded out. Still, though, I have to give it to Nails, I have to give it to this record for just being another solid album in their discography. I mean, maybe at this point people have heard everything that the band has to offer in their opinion, but for me, the band seems like they're still progressing a little bit. They're still keeping up exactly what they're known for doing as well as they've been doing it, and it's kind of hard for them to overstay their welcome 3 albums in, sticking to roughly the same sound when not even a single one of these records so far has been 30 minutes. I mean, with each record so far having a 3-year gap, the band certainly isn't oversaturating us with this music, but I think their next record could certainly do with a little more adventure in terms of the flow and the sound of the album too. I mean, what few experiments and risks the band took here were pretty cool, you know, like that black metal intro of the final track. I thought that was executed really nicely, and I only hope to see the band work in more shades of extreme music in the future. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'm feeling a strong 8 to a light 9 on this album. Tran. Oh, and those are my feelings on this new Nails album, You Will Never Be One of Us. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy this record, because it's fucking awesome. And I hope you're having a good one, guys. Again, have a nice day. Appreciate you watching. You know, do the liking and the commenting and the subscribing and all that shit. Suggest something you feel like I should review next. And, yeah. Eat those fruits and veggies. Get that water. Stay hydrated. Forever.